You're good at what you do. You're really good. And yet getting paid consistently for it feels harder than it should. And it probably feels harder now than it ever has before. You're not short on expertise. You are short on a system that turns that expertise into clients without you having to hustle for every single one of those clients. That's the problem I want to talk about today. And I'm going to give you two paths going forward that you can use. Both of them are totally legit. Both of them have been proven by myself and my clients. And you get to decide which one is the right fit for you right now. I've spent 25 years doing this. I've been in marketing for a very, very long time. I help service providers, consultants, and coaches. I help them to get consistent clients. And the number one thing I see holding people back is that they're operating without a real client acquisition system. They're relying only on referrals that come in whenever they feel like it. Word of mouth, that's about as predictable as Colorado weather, where I live. Don't get me wrong, I love word of mouth, but it can dry out. Here's what's shifted. The way people buy expertise has completely changed. For a long time, you could package what you knew into a recorded course. That's what I did 6 years ago. And then you would just sell that information because the information itself was super valuable. People paid for that kind of knowledge, but that era is over, unfortunately. AI can now teach almost any concept faster, cheaper, and without complaining when you ask the same question multiple times. And YouTube has even more free expertise on any topic that any human could assume in an entire lifetime. So the problem your potential clients have is not that they cannot find the information. It's that they can't get traction. They know what they should be doing, but they're still stuck. They need someone who has actually been there. They need someone who can see where they're at and like where they're getting stuck. That is what you provide. And that is what no algorithm is going to replicate anytime soon. So the question is not whether your expertise is valuable. It totally is. The question is how you structure and sell it in a way that works for you and actually serves your clients well. There are really two solid models for consultants and coaches right now and any service professionals. I want to walk you through both of those, and I'm going to be very honest because the right answer genuinely depends on where you are at and what you're building and who your client is. One-on-one coaching or consulting gets a bad reputation in certain corners of the internet, usually from people trying to sell you a course about why you shouldn't sell courses. So the reality is that one-on-one work has real, legit advantages that are worth taking seriously. You get super deep access to your client's specific situation because one-on-one, you can really listen and learn, and you can customize it completely to their needs. And you build this relationship that ends up turning into a long-term engagement. It gives you referrals and it gives you the kind of trust that is so hard to manufacture at scale. And from a revenue standpoint, one-on-one is where your highest ticket prices live. When someone is paying for your individual brain applied to a specific problem, they will pay a premium for that, and they should. One-on-one is also the best education you can give yourself, especially when you're starting out. Every client you work with closely teaches you something about the problems your audience is facing. The language that they use, you need to pay attention to, the objections that they have, the moments that actually create a breakthrough. That's the kind of stuff you end up talking about in your marketing. And that intelligence is so gold for you to have. You get it from being in the room with them. You get it from being in the Zoom with them. You actually with real people. So this is really cool. But honestly, there is a limitation with one-on-one work. It doesn't scale past a certain point, yeah, right? You only have so many hours in a day. You only have so many days in a week, and your calendar is going to get full really fast. So your income is capped there. So if you're okay with that, that's cool. Do it. If you're not okay with that, then we do need to talk about other things that you can do. But having this plan and starting with one-on-one is really always what I recommend. And don't let the online business crowd make you feel like you're doing it wrong. I have a one-on-one and I've been in marketing forever, for 25 years. I've been in consulting for 10 years right now. And I still do one-on-one, but I also do group coaching. So I want to talk to you about that. Group coaching is where you can scale much easier, or group consulting, right? You can really scale there. And when you're building it well, it delivers a totally different kind of value than a one-on-one can, because you don't want to water it down for your people, right? You still want to give them your expertise. And the model works like this. You start with a clear methodology, so some kind of framework, something like that. And that framework needs to be unique to you and what you sell. So not everything that you know, not your full Wikipedia page of who you are, but a specific path that takes someone from spot A to spot B, and it gives them that outcome. And the goal is not to transfer your entire brain to your people. The goal is to create a result. So work backwards from the outcome and build the most direct path to get there. Then you deliver that in live calls, in a group setting. And your coaching or consulting should be in real time, like so you're live, right? So you can work through their real questions and their real obstacles in a group kind of situation. Because every question one person asks, another five people are probably afraid to ask. So every breakthrough one person has accelerates everyone else in that room. The group becomes its own learning engine, and your job shifts from like a solo expert performing to a room of one to a guide for a community of people who are genuinely helping each other move forward. And then the third piece is this community, right? People working through the same challenges at the same time. They hold each other accountable. They share what's working. They share what's not working. And everybody gets to celebrate wins together. Together, a clear methodology and this life group coaching really then ends up compounding. People are excited and people tell other people about it. And that becomes your own marketing asset because they will talk about their experiences. They will share their wins. So if you want to know which one is right for you, here's a simple way to think about it without turning this into some giant float chart situation, right? If you want to go super deep with like a small number of clients and they're high value clients, you can charge a lot more and you building a strong relationship. Also, if you're just starting out, one-on-one is great for learning. If you want to serve more people without logging more hours, or if you've already got enough one-on-one experience that you know your methodology cold, group coaching then is the next natural move. You don't need a massive audience. You need a clear offer and a way to have real conversations with the right people. And here's what surprises a lot of people. These two paths are not mutually exclusive. Some of the most effective consulting and coaching businesses actually run both. One-on-one at the high end for clients who want dedicated access, they just want to be with you, and a group program for clients who want that framework, that methodology, and they want that community, or they need like that lower price point. I do both of these. There are some clients that just want me one-on-one. They don't want anybody else around. And there are other clients that love the group scenario. Neither is wrong. Neither is right. So what people are actually buying, right? No matter which path that you choose, I want to come back to something that I think changes everything about how you show up and how you sell. People are not buying more information. They have enough of that. What they're buying is progress. What they're buying is your experience. What they're buying is actually moving forward. Maybe sometimes they're buying just motivation and having accountability and other people around. And they stick with it. Maybe they would bail otherwise if they didn't have you. That means your job is not to be the smartest person in the room. It's to be the most useful person in the room. The person who can see where someone is, where they want to go, where they need to go, and you help them close that gap much faster than they could really do on their own. That is what no recorded video can sell. That is what no AI can replace. And that is the specific human expertise driven thing you offer. And it is worth a lot to the right person. The challenge, and I say this after 25 years of watching brilliant people struggle with it, is that most consultants and coaches and service professionals are genuinely terrible at communicating that value before someone hires them. They talk about their credentials. They describe in detail what they do, but it makes no sense to the actual customer. And they list the services on their website like an e-commerce shop. You don't want to do that. Your marketing job is to close that gap. Speak directly to the problem your ideal client is sitting with right now in the language that they actually use to describe it, and make it completely obvious that you get their situation and you know how to help them. That's it. That's the whole enchilada. That's the whole game. And since I'm anti-bro marketing, the anti-bro version of this, you watch a video about scaling your expertise and suddenly someone's telling you to post like 7 reels a day, run a flash sale, and close your cart in 48 hours to create urgency that nobody actually feels except you. That's BS. That's bro marketing. We don't do that. That's not what I'm talking about, right? The version of this that works for consultants and service professionals and coaches and educators who are genuinely good at what they do is built on those relationships, and they build on those real conversations. You get clear on who you help and what you help them do. You show up consistently in places where those people already are. You let them get to know you and how you think and how you speak in your framework. And then that conversation turns into actually working together. It feels supernatural next step. And it's not a closing technique or anything like that. It's just being you and being real. And the good news is you do not need a massive audience. You do not need a viral moment, but you do need that clarity, consistency, and that system that moves the right people from stranger to client without requiring you to perform for the internet every single day. I'm not going to ask you to juggle and do crazy things online, okay? And that's what sustainable client acquisition actually looks like. And for consultants and coaches who are allergic to the louder version of online marketing, right? The juggling on camera, it is the only model that actually holds up over time. And if this resonated and you're ready to think through what your client acquisition system actually looks like, I'd love to have that conversation with you. I work with consultants, I work with coaches and other service professionals and online business owners, and on actually doing this. I help you get clear on your positioning, on building a system that brings in those clients, and most importantly, brings them in consistently. So there's a link below that you can book a call with me. It's totally free. It's a total normal conversation. I'm not going to have like a 90-minute sales pitch. We'll talk for half an hour about your problems, and then I can see where I can help you out. And if you want to go further, awesome. We'll work together. And if we don't, that's awesome too. And it was going to be nice to have met you. So the link is below. Book that call, and then let's figure out what this looks like for you. I'd love to chat with you. And if I don't hear from you, that's cool too. See you in the next video.